What's up, guys? It's Scion, and I'm back. And what we're going to do today is Star Trek Online, and we're going to get right into it. This is the Should I Play, so let's get right in there. Number one, the pricing plan. This is a free-to-play game. So being a free-to-play game, you gotta know that there's going to be a little bit of pay-to-win in this, and really the pay-to-win in this game is not really that substantial, but it has a few things that's kind of bothersome. Now, off the top of the you just like the ships in this game, like everybody knows Star Trek is all about the ships and everything else. You get very little ships for free that actually progress you get tier 1 through 5 that you can basically get through storyline wise, and you get tier 6s sometime when they give out free things, but it's not a whole lot, and then usually the ships aren't that great to begin with, so it kind of urges you and edges you towards actually buying a ship. Now, sometimes they have them on sale and they're like $10 to $15, and I would suggest if you're going to invest in something, you just do that off the bat and then be done with it. Everything else is pretty much, like I say, par for the course. Now, number two is the character creation. The character creation is okay in my opinion. It's not up to standards that we're used to today with Blade and Soul and Black Desert and Skyforge, and even World of Warcraft has gotten better with the recent expansion coming. This game is a bit dated, so it's relatively old, and the character customization is old, so when it's one of those things, it's going to be hit or miss for you. Also, there's a lot of customization that's available in the cash shop, which is unfortunate, but that's what we're going to get to next. The cash shop. The cash shop is all about swag, in my opinion. It's all about looking good, except for the things that you actually need, which is a little bit bothersome to me, and I think they should do something about that. The tier 6 ships in this game. The tier 6 ships in this game are really needed, and you don't get a lot of them for free. That's not behind a super time gate. And when I say time gate, I mean that's something that you have to freaking do for a long time, like a month before you actually get the ship. Most of the time the ships are trash or just look good and not really that useful, but it's a tier 6 ship, and people who are playing for free are gonna want that. But that aside, in the cash shop, you get all the swag and you get all the nice stuff in there. Like you get the nice tier 6 ships, you get new officers, you got new clothes, you got things from the actual series. So the shop is really not that expensive, but I just don't like that there's certain things in the shop that's mandatory that you kind of need. And that's kind of where it gets a little bit for me. So the auction house is selling. The auction house, number 4 rather, the auction house in this game is actually rather good. Like, you do a good job. I like a game where you can make profit, so to speak. You can make money in the auction house. It's not that hard. You go in there, you can search things, and anytime that a game has a good auction house like that, I'm all for it. I love stuff like that. I get in there, make my money, so you can even make it to the point where you make enough money to buy other things in the game, like buy stuff that people would normally have to spend money for. You can make enough money in game to go in there, and you don't need to go through all that. So if auction house is like that in the game, I'm for it. So this is a very good auction house. Graphics in the world. The world is actually, we have like pretty much we have quadrants. So like entire, like, I guess you could say universe, not universes, but like you have a pretty big game to fly around in, and like you can actually spend a good deal of time flying around in this game in space. So the world is pretty big. The graphics are very nice when it comes to space combat and even some of the ground combat. The ground combat graphics, though, it's not that great. Like I said, this is a dated game. It hasn't had upgrade to the engine at all. Like, they do a good job of what they got with the engine that they pretty much have, but it could use a little bit more polish and something new with it, but it's all right. I'll give it an average. Now, the space combat is badass. It's the most fun that I have in the game. I love it. I like being the scientific, spaceships and running around, or maybe even the assault spaceships and like stealth and all that type of stuff, stealth attacking, and then you have the little raid missions and stuff like that. Combat's good. Ground combat sucked in the beginning. It sucked ass. It was terrible. It was like, remember Champions Online is still around, but it's combat like that. It's pretty trash. But it's gotten better over the years. It definitely has gotten better, but it's still within that old engine, and It's just I don't like it. I can't. There's nothing else I can say about it. The ground combat just is lacking, and I wish that they would get a new engine for the ground combat alone. Just leave the space combat alone. Just do something about the ground combat. Like if it could be like Star Trek the movie, where they still have like the phasers and they have martial arts and stuff like that. That looks cool and makes more sense. That Star Trek Online would be the ish, man. It would be awesome. 7. And the main reason why I play this game: storyline, plot, and quest. The storyline in this game, every time, all the writing, all the voice acting that they give, there's continuations from the TV shows, there's continuations from movies, nods to movies, historical people from the series coming in. All of that is hot. All the lore is hot. It's on point. They don't mess it up. It's about as good as you can get it. It's the typical quest stuff that you're used to. Go here, go save this, and stuff like that. But the lore, if you are a Trekkie, you need to play this game at least once. Every time it comes out with an expansion, you need to play it and be like, oh, look, I remember stuff. Like, you need to do that if you're a Trekkie. You're not representing if you don't play Star Trek Online as a Trekkie. I'm just saying, even if you don't like it, you're not represented. Number 8, the classes. Now, it doesn't necessarily have like classes, but there's different types of, I guess, Starfleet officers. You have like the tactical, you have the engineer, and then you have the scientist. So you can pretty much determine yourself between those 3 things. You can be different things within those particular officer roles, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be one of those 3. So that's pretty much all you can really roll with. Same thing when you go in Klingon or Romulan, you have those particular things that you can roll with, and different specializations between it. So it is what it is like that. I'm always tactical. I'm going to be the Captain Tactical. I'm a Kirk fan. I'm a Picard fan. I'm a Cisco fan. I'm a Janeway fan. So I'm always going to be. Ain't none of them scientific or engineers. They were all the main dude tactical up in there. So that's what I'm going to be. Number 9, alt and replay value. This game, I don't see replay value with this game because, to be honest with you, I've gone through it twice. I went through it one time, and somehow when they changed over their whatever else, I lost my account, so I had to do it all over again. So did all over again, and I for sure as hell would not be doing this a 3rd time. It's just I don't see replay value. I can do quest over again, I could do things over again, but I will not do replay value. Now, another point of replay value is this game has something similar to like Neverwinter, where like people in the community can make quests. People do a very good job of this, and some of the quests are actually better than endgame quests. So it's a lot of fun to actually go in there when you don't have anything to do. You could go and just do the content that people make up, and it's like really like some awesome stuff that they came up with, like space combat, ground combat, like some pretty good stories. So it could just fill up your day just messing around doing that stuff. Definitely try it out. Dungeons are not really dungeons in this game. Most of the stuff that you do is usually space combat, and there is some ground stuff that you can do on worlds and stuff like that, where you can go into like little world event type of places and run around and do some pretty decent questing type of things and make yourself some nice gear and some nice credits in the game. That's the currency. And like, you feel like you're doing Star Trekky stuff. I know Star Trekky is not a word, but you're still doing Star Trekky stuff. So dungeons and areas in this game.
Surplus of new content, including a new featured episode, an additional space battle zone, several new PvE missions, and much more. Season 9 brings a number of improvements to STO. Updated character customization options allow for increasingly more unique captains. A much anticipated redesign of the reputation system improves the endgame experience, and kits have been revamped, now offering exciting new gameplay options for ground combat. In an all-new featured episode, Surface Tension, Admiral Tuvok leads a tenuous alliance formed to defend the Solanae Dyson Sphere against the imminent Undine threat.
You have like 8 teams like there's special types of
Undine
characters that you
Infiltration
get,
is a new
and
cross-faction
it's kinda
ground
cool, a
queued
little bit of
mission for level
micromanagement.
50
It's like extra
captains.
characters on
The
top of
Undine
the,
have
the
infiltrated
group characters
Bajor
that you
and taken the
have, which
forms
are
of
actually
local
away
residents.
team,
Interrogate
which
the
I
locals
neglected
and
to mention,
confront
which
suspects to
I'll
get to the
now.
bottom of this
You
mystery.
pretty much have a bridge team. Like you have like the science
In
officers,
Undine Assault, planets from the
lieutenants,
Alpha and
you
Beta
have
quadrants
your
are under attack
engineers,
by
you have
Undine
the tactical
forces.
officers that could be
Help
Undine,
defend
like,
one
number
of
one or
4
something like
planets,
that.
push through
And
waves of
you can make
Undine
these
ships,
people
close the fluidic
people
rifts,
going all
and
clean
take
lines,
down the
all
planet
clean
killer.
lines. So, something like that. You can have whatever you want. I've got all
Viscous
these
Cycle,
rules
a new
because that's the
space
way I
queued
roll.
event.
I
Players
grew
must
up
enter
with
fluidic
Star
space
Trek.
and
I like
execute
the,
surgical strikes against the
even
bioorganic
rock
shipyards
and
where the
roll, but
Undine grow their
I-
devastating planet
it's what it
killers.
is because of that.
A new, persistent, cross-faction space battle zone is available to level 50 captains. The Undine have arrived in the Dyson Sphere. Regain control of the zone, close the Undine rifts, and bring down the planet killers. These epic missions are just a hint of the epic new content that awaits in Star Trek Online, Season 9, A New Accord.
So, number 13. I know I skipped some numbers, but I actually said them. I just didn't say the numbers. Number 13, as we start to wrap this up, raids and endgame. Now, raids are typically, you could do a raid without necessarily a big group. Now, you actually have guilds in this game, and the guild system is kind of funny, in my opinion, because the guild system actually has raid stuff in it. And I kind of frown upon that because I think that raid stuff should be to the public too and to the guilds, but it seems like there's stuff that's like typically for guilds that you can never do solo, and I always have a problem with that. But at the same time, it's good that it's there for the raids, especially like with the raid, not the raid, well, the home base that you can make in the game with your actual guild. The home base is pretty cool, and you kind of need a lot of different things in the home base that you can't necessarily do on your own. And I kind of when it comes to that, and that's when it comes to like the raiding and stuff like that. But I like it. I like the whole space raiding type of system that they have there. I like that they have a little bit of storyline that you can go in with it and go in with your clan or your guild or whatever and take things on. They have a lot of in-game stuff that people can join up and queue for, and storyline stuff that's like seasonal that could come in and like, you know, take on like species, like whatever. I'm forgetting their names, but you guys know what I mean. You could like take on the Borg or stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it all rounds out to be something really good. So number 14, and wrapping this up, the conclusion. Now, this is a dated game, so I'm not gonna just blow any smoke up your behinds or something like that and act like this when you're gonna see something graphical and all crazy. If you are a Trekkie, you should be playing this game. If you're a science type of guy, you should be playing this game. If you like storyline, you should be playing this game. If you're the type of guy who's into action and not like so much want to be doing all this thinking all the time and worried about micromanagement, this game probably isn't for you. And there's not enough action all the time in this game to keep somebody occupied. If you're scientific though, and you like just the nerdy type of things,
the final
which,
frontier.
I'm very much like a jock
Today,
and a
we
nerd at the
begin
same
our
time,
journey
if that's
of
even
discovery.
possible. So I like the
We'll
sporty stuff, I
explore
like the action
stars
stuff, but I
beyond
actually
our
like to
own,
use my brain too, because
seeking
like,
knowledge
that's what I finished school
and
for.
new
Might as
worlds.
well, like I finished college.
There
I might
will
as
be
well
danger,
use my brain.
but
So
risk is our business.
I like it.
We will
And
boldly go
as far as should you play,
where
yes,
no one
I
has
would
gone
suggest
before.
anybody for this game. I won't give it a perfect score of a 3, no, because it's very aged, it's very old, and it has pay to win in it that do not like the boxes and the fact that tier 6 ships are locked behind stuff, so I can't get it a perfect score. That's not fair, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. So in my opinion, I'm giving this a 2.5. You should play it and try it out and have some fun. Other than that, that's it. Get in there. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, it's free to play. Uninstall, go about your day. Peace. I'd like to thank everybody for 10K subs. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. And if you liked what you saw in this video, please click the top right to click more of my videos, or click the bottom right to subscribe to the channel. Once again, one love, peace, and I will see you next video.